Take it from there.
Well, I mean that team was assembled, and I think why that big three stands out is because of the player empowerment of it all. Right? That was decided by three guys, three players. It wasn't decided by teams. It wasn't a trade. It became trades to make it all work, but it wasn't decided through organization. And so I think that's why our big three was such an important part of the game of basketball. It's an important story in the game of basketball. And so what I loved about it is I thought we did a great job playing GM with each other and making sure we put the right chemistry of guys with CB and Brian and myself of our personalities in our game. I thought we did a great job of putting the right chemistry together. And so, that's the biggest thing you look at. You just look at the chemistry, and it takes a while sometimes. It's taking, it's taking the Lakers a while. I remember they're 8-7. I remember we were 9-8. And I'm not saying they're us, but I'm saying like it takes time sometimes to figure it all out. And I thought for us, we just really wanted to, Stephen A. Like it was no other choice for us. Like it wasn't okay, if I got to take less shots, that's what I have to do. If my points got to go down, that's what it has to do. Because ultimately it's about one thing, and it was about that championship.
Yeah, and you got it done, the want and the will. Dwayne, I'm starting to take this personally because everyone brings up LeBron's age, and him and I are the same age, and I feel like I'm just getting started. But with that being said, how likely is this current Lakers squad to reach the finals this year?
I don't know. I don't think none of us knows. I think one thing we do know is that they have the talent and they have the veteran, the veteran play that they need if they get in a 7-game series. We do know that, but we also know how health plays an important part in the game of basketball, especially as the older players. So we know that they have talent. We know that they have Hall of Famers, but we don't know if they're going to be able to be there at the end together. We don't know if because of injuries throughout the year, when you have an older team, you don't be able to build that chemistry, that camaraderie, that everything that you need to be able to win a Game 7 on the road. So it's all going to be determined on health, and it's all going to be determined on LeBron James being on that court.
Well, let's not forget you believe in your Utah Jazz as well, because that brother Donovan Mitchell is a star. So I'm not going to forget about him. I don't know about the rest of the dudes with him. I got to see. But I believe in that brother. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, D. Wade. I mean, as I think about, we talked about LeBron, Jordan, Mount Rushmore, whatever. I want to switch it up. I want to ask you about you. We talk about Jordan as an off guard. We talk about Kobe as an off guard. Well, damn it, you got 3 rings. You going into the Hall of Fame, first ballot without question. That's right, Gabby. I said it, so she ain't got to call me getting on me about that. Yeah, you going to the Hall of Fame, no question, first ballot. Where do you rank yourself as one of the all-time off guards in the history of basketball?
You can't do that to me. You can't do that to me, Stephen. I'm not going to answer that question. That's not for me. That is not for me to answer.
Okay.
Listen, I lay my body of work out. And I'll let the people who get paid a lot of money to discuss it.
Okay. All right.
Like you.
I appreciate
All right, let's transition. Speaking about your body of work. So fashion in the NBA, Dwayne, obviously synonymous. And Stephen A. likes to play fashion police on the show. And it's no secret that you and your wife, Gabby, can both dress. So I'm told we have...
Gabby can...
Celebrity, sometimes you're not looked at as human. And so what I wanted to do is give a lot of behind-the-scene moments of, things that people might not show as much. A little bit insight on, maybe some of my inner thoughts, my insecurities. And so I didn't want this to just be about basketball. I wanted this to be about life. And because I wanted this to be a guide and a visual and an image for, little kids, little Dwaynes that are growing up in the inner city of Chicago that need a visual, that needs someone. So, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make this as human as possible and showcase my life and talk about my journey.
D, I know how important it is to you to reach back to folks and to really give as much as you can, because you've always been that kind of brother. Some would argue, however, that, your popularity obviously was off the charts when you were busy winning championships. And it's like, why didn't you say it then instead of now? How do you answer that question when you're divulging a little bit more of yourself now, as opposed to when you were playing and obviously you were winning championships, and because that was at the height of your popularity, one would argue?
Yeah, I mean, one of it is growth, Stephen A. It's just, we're coming to the NBA. I came in as a 21-year-old, and then I get microphones put in front of my face every day, and I'm asked about so many different things, most of it pertaining to, my basketball talents. And so now, in my life now, my life is not microphones is not talking about basketball. We're talking about my children. We're talking about my community. We're talking about other things. And so now, as I've grown and I've gotten older, and I've become more curious, and I want to learn more, and I want to become a better person. And my life is not just focused on being the best basketball player I can be. It's finding myself. It's finding Dwayne. It's trying to learn how to become in this world that we live in. And it's not easy. Even with success from a sport, coming out here in this real world, Stephen A, it's not easy to navigate through. And so for me, I'm finding my voice. I'm finding myself, and I'm letting life determine what it is that I speak about, or what it is that I become passionate about through life experiences.
D-Wade, what have you found out about yourself now that you didn't know 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
I don't know if I'm finding out something about myself that I didn't know. I'm taking what I've learned through sport, and I'm just applying it. I know how to apply, what I need to in this life. And it's like, if I become successful in something that is a small percentage of the world have the opportunity to ever experience and ever be a part of, and I become one of the greatest at that, then I can take those same principles of, how to work as a team, how to sacrifice, how to play a role, how to lead, how to follow. I can take all these things into this life and try to apply those, and try to, still be as successful as I was as a basketball player, because I know what it takes to win. I've done it at the highest level that's possible.
Dwayne, I think that's beautiful, because obviously sports is a microcosm of life, but I think to have the humility, the awareness, and to be introspective, to not only want to become the best version of yourself in all areas, but to become a better human being, truly is a really beautiful sentiment. I appreciate you sharing that and your vulnerability through this book as well. But, sir, we need to talk some hoops. You have obvious connections to both Miami and Chicago. Please tell me, which team is the bigger threat in the East, the Heat or the Bulls?
Well, you got to say the Heat right now. And, obviously the Chicago Bulls, let's give DeMar DeRozan, let's give Zobal, let's give, those guys all the credit they deserve. Zach LaVine, I've been screaming his names. Everybody, I've been screaming his name.
Yes.
Let's give that all-star some credit for what they're building. But I think Miami is more seasoned, from the sense of, some of the core guys have been together. That culture, you just fit right into that culture. They went out and got the right pieces to fit right into that culture. So they're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out.
I've been on the record because, I know, obviously your former teammate LeBron James, the 4-time champion that he is, 4-time league MVP. There have been expectations thrown in the Los Angeles Lakers' way. They're struggling right now at 8-7. We'll see what they do moving forward. But I've been focused on the Golden State Warriors. These brothers are special, D-Wade. Could you speak to how special they truly, truly are? Because shot makers rule the day in basketball, and those brothers have a few.
You know what? It's beautiful watching them play basketball. As a fan of the game, to watch Golden State, the way they share the wealth, the way they share the basketball, I've gotten a better appreciation for Draymond Green since I've retired, and really watched this guy. He's a point guard. Like, he is one of the best playmakers in the game. But Steph Curry, he proved it last year. He proven again this year. He is one of the greatest to ever play this game. He's on that Mount Rushmore from the standpoint of changing the face of the game. But to see young guys like Poole, to see GP, to see GP the second get his opportunity, those things right there. That's what sport is about. And Steve Kerr is doing an amazing job of allowing those guys to play free, and the excitement that they bring in, man. It's just, it's just a place you want to be. It's just basketball that you want to watch.
I'm going to go someplace else with you with this next question I'm going to ask, because you guys, LeBron, Chris Bosh wasn't the first big three. Really, it was KG. It was Ray Allen. It was Paul Pierce in Boston with Rondo before y'all assembled in Miami, and we get all of that. We've seen what followed with KD going to Golden State. We see now what Kyrie going
to
Brooklyn.
Wait a minute.
Yes, what?
Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and Scottie Pippen wasn't a big three?
No, I'm not.
Keep going.
Excuse me, I'm not saying that they weren't big threes. I'm talking about, Rodman was acquired, but I'm saying Scottie Pippen and Jordan came up together. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. Here's where I'm going. As you see Milwaukee win the championship, You see Brooklyn with some of their struggles for reasons we don't need to get into right now. You see the Lakers having a little bit of trouble. As you reflect on the effect that some would say y'all big three in Miami had on the game of basketball, what is it about that big three that was in Miami that you feel all of us have been missing throughout the years when we talk about the big three being assembled in Miami?